Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity. Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity.
Hey there, it's Breber, and today's Aveda video is for another Tiny Tip Tuesday. This one is all about annotations, and I'm going to be giving you other tips that could actually apply to this annotation method and a couple other ones that I'm going to be dropping throughout the month of Veda as well. So stay tuned for some more annotation tips in and around Veda. If you hear baby noises in the background, Kaiden is over there having a grand old time. He's going at it with his toys. Today's annotation video is focused on annotating in a notebook. So if you like annotating, the idea of annotating books, but you don't want to write physically in your books, there are a couple of alternatives. The first option is, of course, to annotate with pencil so that it can be erased. This is a very easy alternative. It's quick to erase. You can even just leave the pencil in there. People will still take it. People will just erase it themselves if they want to take it out. So if that is your thing, then pencil, great option. But if you still don't like that idea, or if you want to try some alternative forms that allow for different versions of annotating that have different strong points from writing directly on the page, then annotating in a notebook is the first one, and then we're going to be discussing with you guys for an alternative to writing in the book or on the pages. So the first thing you're going to need to do is figure out what kind of notebook you want to use. So I currently use this, I use a lot of notebooks that I wouldn't use normally, that I don't need to worry so much about like paper quality, because I'm just going to use my S gel pen probably. Sometimes just pencil. It just kind of whatever I have on hand. Sometimes I color code. Sometimes these notes are extremely messy. That's one of the great things about a notebook that's spiral bound especially. You can just rip out the ugly pages when you're done with them, and you don't need to keep them for anything. Unless you want to keep all of these, you know, that's entirely up to you. But so you can also use thin notebooks, are a great option. If you're looking for something with high quality paper, look for Traveler's Notebook inserts as a good option for high quality paper and thin notebook size. It's usually going to be a really good alternative to using small notebooks with not so great paper. Once you decide what kind of those things you want, once you decide what kind you want as far as those tools, then you're going to need to settle into what kind of notes you want to take. I react on page to what I'm reading, both in terms of like what's happening in the story and what the characters are doing, but also I react to thoughts about the writing and the quality of that, the choices the writer makes, things like that. So it depends on what kind of things you're wanting to take note of. I do a I do a variety of things. Once you've determined what kinds of notes that you actually want to take, you will need to decide how you want to organize your notes on page. So there are different things you could do. You could create columns or sections in which you write specific list type notes, and then have like an other notes type thing, which is what I tend to lean towards anyway, as it's what I typically kind of apply to my book annotations, which I made a video about last Veda, so you can check that out. I will try to link all of my annotation videos for you guys to be able to find. But you could also do a symbol system down the page, or even a color code system down the page. So if you wanted to use multicolored pens or highlighters, then you could do that. and just go down the page that way, or symbols and go down the page that way. So I've done both. I've done all sorts of different kinds of things. I try different things a lot in the notebooks that I use for annotating, and so I will kind of show you examples of each of those things. There's also some tips I can give you for coding exactly where in the book you are referring to, so that you don't have to write out a quote. And I am not very good about taking it's just so much to say today. Once you decide how you want to do it on the page, there's also a coding way that you can refer to exactly where on page in the book that you can find a specific quote, so that you don't have to write the quote out or anything like that. So you can put the page number and then a dot, and then the paragraph number and then a dot, and then the line number. So that way you can find exactly where a quote that you want to reference starts, and you could do the same number method for the other. Of course, you could do a line like a dash if you wanted to do, or a backslash if you wanted to do it that way. But basically this, whatever symbol you use in between the numbers, the concept is the same. He thinks it's a great idea. He thinks it's a great idea. An additional option with that is that after the last, the line number, you could even put the word that the quote starts with, or the section starts with, so that it's easier to find in that way as well. You could put the word number or the word itself. I would probably put the word itself. But benefits of annotating outside the book. Of course, there's the benefit of having all of your notes gathered together, so you don't have to flip through the whole book to find your notes. You also can reference multiple books, or like across books. You could have sections for like a whole series if you wanted. You could like put those in the same small notebook. So that you can organize your thoughts on specific groups of things by how you organize the notebook. Also have a lot of flexibility with how you organize those things. So you can organize them in like lists, or you can have running notes. You can also choose what kind of paper you're using as well, if you wanted to splurge or if you wanted to save. When you're annotating in a book itself, the paper is usually not so great quality, but if you're using a notebook, then you get to control that issue, especially if you're a fountain pen user. The downfall with doing a notebook is that you do have to make sure that you have it with you and that you keep up with it. So I like to use a book sleeve with when I'm doing a notebook and a book like together, and I just slide them in the book sleeve. I also do use this notebook for notes when I am filming a video for a book and I want to write down what I want to talk about in my next video update. So I'm annotating inside the book, but sometimes I'm not in a place where I can pull out my camera and film. Like say I'm reading during the kids' nap at work and I can't film during that moment or whatever. Because whatever I want to talk about, I want more time to talk about, and I can't do just like a quick clip or whatever. For whatever reason, like I'll use that notebook in addition to annotating the book for videos like that. Just so I hit on the key points when I do my next check-in. So they can be used for additional things like that. If you want to make notes about a separate project outside of the book itself, or if you're doing like a vlog and you want to write down what you want to make note of for the check-ins. So that's another way you can use this method. I hope that this was helpful to you in some way and it helps you on your potential annotation journey as you discover what works for you, what you like and what you don't like, if you like annotating at all. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. Make sure you hit the notification bell and the subscribe button down below so that you can join the Bear Scouts and be notified every time I post a new video, but most of all so that I can see you again very soon. Peace out, Bear Scouts.
Forget about your worries and your stress. I need a